Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharana Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashkatya Desatarina. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3, text 43. Krishna svadhamo pagate dharmagyana dibihi saha kalaunastadrishamesha puranarko dunoditaha. Krishna in Krishna's svadhama own abode, upagate having returned, dharma religion, jnana knowledge, adibihi combined together, saha along with, kalau in the Kali Yuga, nastadrisham of persons who have lost their sight, esha all these, Purana Arkaha, the Purana, which is brilliant like the sun. Aduna, just now. Uditaha, has arisen. Translation: this Bhagavat Purana is as brilliant as the sun. And it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shri Krishna has his eternal dham or abode where he eternally enjoys himself with his eternal associates and paraphernalia. And his eternal abode is a manifestation of his internal energy, whereas the material world is a manifestation of his external energy. When he descends on the material world, he displays himself with all the paraphernalia in his internal potency, which is called Atma Maya. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he descends by his own potency, Atma Maya. His form, name, fame, paraphernalia, abode, etc. are not therefore creations of matter. He descends to reclaim the fallen souls and to re-establish codes of religion which are directly enacted by him. Except for God, no one can establish the principles of religion. Either he or a suitable person empowered by him can dictate the codes of religion. Real religion means to know God, our relationship with him, and our duties in relationship with him, and to know ultimately our destination after leaving this material body. The conditioned souls who are entrapped by the material energy hardly know all these principles of life. Most of them are like animals engaged in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. They are mostly engaged in sense enjoyment under the pretension of religiosity, knowledge, or salvation. They are still more blind in the present age of quarrel or Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, the population is just a royal addition of the animals. They have nothing to do with spiritual knowledge or godly religious life. They are so blind that they cannot see anything beyond the jurisdiction of the subtle mind, intelligence, or ego. But they are very much proud of the advancement in knowledge, science and material prosperity. They can risk their lives to become a dog or a hawk just after leaving the present body, for they have completely lost sight of the ultimate aim of life. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna appeared before us just a little prior to the beginning of Kali Yuga, and he returned to his eternal home practically at the commencement of Kali Yuga. While he was present, he exhibited everything by his different activities. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita specially and eradicated all pretentious principles of religiosity. And prior to his departure from this material world, he empowered Sri Vyasadeva through Narada to compile the messages of Srimad Bhagavatam, and thus both the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam are like torch bearers for the blind people of this age. In other words, if men in this age of Kali want to see the real light of life, they must take to these two books only, and the aim of life will be fulfilled. Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum of life, Lord Sri Krishna personified. We must therefore accept Srimad Bhagavatam as the direct representation of Lord Krishna. One who can see Srimad Bhagavatam can see also Lord Sri Krishna in person. They are identical. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutala Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashkadya Desatana. This Bhagavata Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Namaste Saraswati Devam. So Prabhupada once even mentioned that what we consider here to be light in a material world, it's actually illusion. This material world is always dark. And this is actually relating especially to our spiritual vision. Because it's a fact, when you look around, what do we see with our senses? It's just different manifestation of different shapes of matter, including our bodies, which are... Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, he said once, just look, just to give example of humility, he said, just look in what kind of body I'm sitting, and just look what my concept of enjoyment is. I'm even enjoying by passing stool. And actually, this is actually relief, is enjoyment. But what kind of enjoyment it is? So this is, the statements of the Acharyas. Oof. And when you read the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is departing. He is giving a little bit his very personal opinion about these conditioned souls living in this material world. Not very optimistic. Krishna is actually expressing some sort of disgust. What? They want to enjoy this? If you take eating, sleeping, mating and defending, okay? And you go graphically into the detail, really. How do you enjoy sleeping? Complete state of helplessness, unconscious, the mind out of control, dreaming. It's so humiliating actually. If I would tell you now, with this kind of consciousness you have now, lay down, we will put a plastic bag over your head, it's dark, and you can just lie here. You will feel humiliated. You think, why shall I lie down here with a plastic bag over the head? No, but that's what every night is Maya doing to us. packaging us in and bye-bye. Completely helpless. And you must try not to sleep. That's dangerous. Especially in a conditioned life. I spoke to devotees who managed not to sleep 3 days because of the intense, devotional service even. No sleeping. One devotee told me, wow, after 3 days, you hear things which don't exist, and you see things which don't exist. The whole body gets completely out of control. And what do you do after? Well, you have to sleep more. You collapse. So this is the conditioned state. We should be aware of that. Eating, really? You go, this is enjoyment. We go to a restaurant, very enjoyable. Yes. But actually this, what is the aesthetic about that? And how long do you enjoy eating? This long. This is just the tongue. Because when it's here, you don't enjoy it anymore. And when it's in the stomach, you don't know anything about it, except the point where you ate too much, and then the stomach is aching. Oh, that's really great enjoyment, It's limited. It's very obvious. Like in our restaurants, we were the first ones, all the restaurants I opened, we were the first ones in a town who offered to people, come, for the same price you can eat as much as you want. When we introduced it, even devotees were thinking, this is crazy, you go bankrupt like this. And I tell you, we had some people who got trained on this. They were fasting before they came to us to eat. So they can consume a special big amount. Nah. It has its limits. Even the most determined eaters, they come to a point of saturation. You cannot eat anymore. That's finished. It's limited. Eating, sleeping, sex life, oh my God. I don't want to go now in detail, really, it's not needed. Prabhupada he became quite graphical sometimes on this point. But what? Just to quote Prabhupada, he said, why are they always going for new sex life? A new person to have sex life with. Prabhupada said, it's the same nakedness. Same nakedness. This shape, that shape. Finally, it's impulse. It's actually a chemical interaction, in essence. Now some people get very upset when you speak like this. What about love and love? Really? Love? Oh, really? Well, let's not get too graphical. And what is the result of all this love? Unlimited love, unlimited sex life. What is the result? AIDS. Unwanted pregnancy. Even as a kami, I was scared of sex. Not that I didn't like it. No, when you're a young man, not a bad idea. But thinking about the consequences was horrifying. I was going, oh no. There was two things which really scared me, was drugs and women, or girls. Both very intoxicating. I knew that. I saw people getting completely out of control because of drugs and women. Very intoxicating. And from these two, I considered females even being more dangerous because they can reproduce themselves. Drugs, so that you take some drug and there's more drugs coming. No. But sex, you never know. Nobody knows. And then suddenly you are confronted with so many consequences. What about the emotional frustrations being involved? Very complicated. Females have a very different perception as the males. Male is just upload, download, bang, 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 bang. Female is like, it's a whole, they have a mind like a fantastic, colorful picture book, full of pictures. What is the result? Not. Now I will not get into pregnancy and the result and birth. It's very physical, very physical. Oof, oof, oof. Did you ever went to the birth clinic? I spent a whole night there when my daughter was born. It was like visiting a horror house. Screaming from all sides, I was going, they are killing people here. No, they are not killing people. The people getting born. Because actually dying and being born is quite close sometimes, that people die also when they are getting born. It's very close. So this is a naked face of the material energy staring at us. What more physical proof we want? Now shall we become a cynical, pessimistic, everything negating existentialists? Like existentialists always say, this world is like a nightmare. It's like a dream. And then Prabhupada challenged back immediately, he said, so why are you always so eager to enjoy this nightmare, this dream? You don't let it go. You over and over try to get yourself in a dreaming state. If it's a nightmare, just wake up. Jiv jago, wake up. No, they will not do that. So the negative side can be easily realized. What about the positive side? And that's where Krishna consciousness comes into the picture. That's where the light of Bhagavatam is arising. And actually, Bhagavatam is very, very realistic. There are sections of Bhagavatam which can really take any optimism out of you to live in this world. Very depressing news. Oh, I could quote, I can give a lecture from Bhagavatam, you think, so now I have to commit a suicide or what? It's so dark, so depressing. Forest of material enjoyment, the chapter alone is just like you read that, you go, this is amazing. Not very inspiring, really, to go for another day. No, but Prabhupada said, you first must be materially frustrated before you come to Krishna consciousness. You must be. If you are to the degree where you are still materially inspired, you cannot be inspired in Krishna consciousness. But the beauty of Krishna consciousness is that we are actually not renouncing anything. We are just changing our view and using things in a different way. Because what we are doing in our daily life, karmis are doing this too. We are cooking, they are cooking. We are car driving, they are car driving. We are cleaning, they are cleaning. We are building things or maintaining things. They are building things and maintaining things. Where's the difference? The difference is in consciousness. The difference is for whom the motivation. That's actually the difference. Otherwise, we are doing pretty much the same stuff. We are worshipping. They are worshipping too. Don't worry. They do worship too. They worship the football teams. They worship the pop stars. What a worship that is, Yeah? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Rolling Stones, Smaranam. This is really, everybody goes for that. And what do you get? Some old man jumping on a stage, screaming that they cannot get any satisfaction. It's really pathetic. Pathetic. I was part of the rock and roll revolution. It was a revolution. This is not revolution anymore. This is a walking corpses jumping around. This is ridiculous. Why do they do that? Oh, they need more money. That's all. Because they have such a fancy lifestyle. It's expensive. So you jump around. I cannot get any satisfaction just to get some. Thank you very much. To pay you fancy house and fancy car and fancy everything. It's ridiculous. It's cheating. And people pay for it to get cheated. They pay for this. So we don't want to get cheated. And this is exactly where Bhagavatam is arising. It's for people, right away in a first shloka is described that all the hypocrisy is kicked out. Finished. No more lying in the name of religion. No more cheating people with some pseudo-spiritual concepts. It's all kicked out. It's heavy. It's a heavy challenge not to be hypocrite in a world of hypocrites. It's very, because they always push you. You know, I'm a hypocrite. Come, join the game. I will give you a name. I will give you designation. I will give you position. You know, they pay for it even. They pay you off. You know, look, you will get such a prestigious position with such a good salary. Nice. Don't be yourself. Be what we want you to be. And they put on every corner, it's advertisement. From the very small childhood, they take, even babies they are teaching, you have to look, a baby has to look like that. You know? A young man has to look like that. You know? And you have to act like that. It's all pre-printed. They push you into that role all over again. And there's no chance without Krishna consciousness. How do you get out of it? You just switch from one role to the other. It's like one big theater. Everybody plays some role. I grew up with theater people. I grew up with artists and this kind of people. And I mean, it didn't took me long to realize that it's all theater around me. It's just the theater people do it professionally, you know, and they, like, what is comedy? One comedy is a very interesting thing. All the famous comedians, you know, from Charlie Chaplin up to everybody, they have one quality in common. They are very good observers. And Charlie Chaplin said, comedy is nothing else as a little bit speeded up reality. That's all. There's nothing new. You just take what you see and you speed it up a little bit. You know? And then people laugh. No, this is what you are doing every day. Comedians can be actually very, therefore, you know, we have our, I think Gopal was his name, you know, in the Vedic times, the king, they kept comedians as entertainment because being a king is so depressing, you know, so you need some fun in between. And these comedians, they were actually sages in a shape of a joker. They were very smart. You know, there's so many of these Gopal jokes, you know. Prabhupada quoted some actually. I didn't study them in detail, but those I know from Prabhupada, they are really funny. You know, Gopal with this, you know that story how and actually, because they were so dear to the king, they always helped him to get in a better mood, so they became very close to him. They became like almost like ministers, like advisors for him. So there was a problem, king couldn't get, you know, any daughter, any child. That's the disaster for a king, because you need to continue the dynasty. And he couldn't get any child. He was desperate. Finally, a daughter was born to him, a girl. It's not the best deal for a king, but it's good, it's good. He was in ecstasy. The first one he called was Gopal. He said, Gopal, finally! A daughter was born to me. What do you say about that? How do you feel about it? And Gopal said, I just feel like I just passed through. The king flipped out. He said, what? What? That's a thing to say on such an auspicious occasion? And it's dangerous to make the king upset because he can kill you. So but he didn't kill him. He just he rejected him, didn't speak to him for months. But then kind of things smoothened up and they went hunting, you know. King goes hunting and Gopal was admitted, he goes also on the same party. And then they came to a river, you know, and a big river, Ganges or whatever. To cross the river, well, there was a big boat. The king got in a boat and there was people rowing, his servants to get across the river. And in the middle of the river, the king got very nervous, very uneasy. And he said, "Can you row faster? Faster, faster!" So they were rowing like, Finally they arrived on the other shore. The king jumped out of the boat and disappeared in the bushes. Obviously, he was in need to pass through, which is difficult, especially when you are king in the middle of the river. So, and when he came out of the bushes with a big smile, he saw Gopal looking at him with a big smile. And then he realized, oh, that's what Gopal meant. He was very happy. Because now I can feel the same feeling I passed through. I'm very happy. So he forgave Gopal immediately and understood what the whole thing was about. But this story has a deeper meaning. All these stories we hear from Prabhupada, they always have a very deep meaning. So actually the real meaning of the whole thing, that material pleasure is the same. Bhaktisiddhanta went even that far. He said, actually the pleasure of a pig eating and human eating is the same, essentially. It's pleasure. So passing stool and enjoying the birth of your child is the same impulse. It's coming from the external energy of the Lord. And it can be very fascinating. We don't deny that. Like sex life, very, very inspiring. It's a powerful energy. But how long does that last? And what is the effect? What is the consequences? That's not so inspiring. Men have a big problem with that. Because they don't know. All the sexuality in a female package is geared towards the child. Child. Now I know there will be today even many females objecting to that. They got cheated. I can say it openly on the camera. They got cheated. Because all the biological design is towards the child. And the man thinks, oh, that's really fun here. Fun, okay. And then, consequently, it should be so, it's natural pregnancy. That's not so funny anymore. And I was in a birth clinic, waiting with 5 men in a room until my child is born. And they were all waiting in the same room, watching the door. When the door went open, the nurse came in and said, "Who is this name?" "Oh, that's yours." You should have seen the faces of this man. They were completely out of control. And that was in Sweden. Swedish man? No expression. That's a standard. But on that moment, they were crying. They were completely out of control. Oh, I have a child. Because the men are so stupid. Even when a woman is pregnant, they think, yeah, somebody maybe, it's like football, like pass around, okay. But when it comes out, you see, that's a person. And I was part of it. They even sometimes are so stupid, they think I created that. Well, that's another illusion. But, but it's very evident. Now you are father. Because without you, that person wouldn't come. That's shocking for most of the men. That's just the beginning. And when the child comes to the mother goes, and where is the husband? Where is the man? Thank you for the insemination. Bye-bye. Now it sounds very gross. And clever women, know it's so wonderful to have a child, but let's not forget the husband. So they a little bit divide the affection part. Stupid women, they go, I have a child, bye-bye, what do I need this guy for? Especially in places like in Sweden, where to be a lonely woman with a child is a very profitable thing, you know that? You get quite some money. We are married, not so much money. It's a feministic country, so what do you want? So, and then the man goes, what about the affection? Hey, what happened to romantics? Huh? No romantics, go and work. You are now the maintainer. Good. Work and maintain. If you are lucky you come home, there is something to eat, Now, in old-fashioned families, in old-fashioned and traditional cultures, it was established that we are a family. Nowadays, don't be so sure. Families are largely destroyed. Yeah. Like I know in Sweden, most of the women, they think, I have a child, it's us, and that's you. Go and get a job. What does the man do? They get another wife, but not from Sweden. They import them from Vietnam. There's so many Vietnamese ladies or Korean ladies walking around in Sweden. They are happy because Sweden is like, for them, going to the heavenly planet, And that stupid Swede who ordered them on internet, well, as soon as they get established, they may get rid of him too, because then they are in Sweden. That's the important part. It can happen. And this Thai and this Eastern, ladies, they are like, service. And anybody can get affected by service. We know what service can do. It's a very powerful thing. But it's in the material world, it's all illusory, temporary. And let's say you got that ideal. Let's say you really are loved. And you love. What happens? You get attached. Oh, that's a pain in itself. People don't believe it. They glorify this. Forever, attachment, wonderful. Well, just wait until somebody is going to die down the road. Then, big frustration. Finished. So it always takes this end in the material world. Sorry, but we are dying. We are going to go. But that doesn't mean we should whole life walk around going, I'm dying, you are dying too. Yeah. I remember me being a student, art student, in Germany. I found a friend. It was not a friend really. But this was the one who brought me to Krishna consciousness. I'm eternally thankful to him. We were both sharing the same realization. We are all dying. But he was worse. He had this German pathos. Germans love this, This, we are dying for Adolf Hitler, or something like that, They are down, heroic, pathetic, This is built in there. So he was like, we are all dying. And I said, actually, I am suspecting it is like that. But we were famous. We were banned from all the student parties and everything. As soon as they see us two coming, they said, get out. Because student party is like, and then we were going, you're all going to die. Not very good guest for the party, Yeah, so we were always kicked out. So, but actually, there was a reality to it. It's just people get stuck on this. I'm dying. So what do you want to do with that? It's happening anyway. There's nothing more sure as that. So the question is, what we are going to do in between? And that's where Bhagavatam comes, illuminating this darkness of Kali Yuga. bringing all the positive alternatives. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Oh, that's where the fun comes in. And that's actually where we can have some fun. Freedom of hypocrisy. Who do you want to cheat in Krishna consciousness? Well, we can try. Some people are pretty good at it, I have to say. I don't want to mention any names, but some people can be pretty good at this. How long? Prabhupada gave a very simple formula. You can cheat many people for a short time. Few people for a long time. But you cannot cheat everybody for all the time. Not possible. The truth will always surface somewhere. Comes up. Material nature is uncompromising. The truth always comes up. So why to even try? Yesterday this wonderful question came up, if Kshatriya can break a promise. No, Kshatriya never breaks a promise. But this goes further. It's not just for Kshatriya. This goes for every devotee. Prabhupada wants us to be a simple, plain, straightforward, honest, and decent human beings. And then you suddenly realize, not so easy. Because we have imperfect senses, tendency to cheat. It's already built into the equipment of the conditioned soul. Likely being an illusion, that's already the standard equipment. So how do you avoid not to be cheated? Actually, normally I don't do this very much, but I would like to quote a very special godbrother of mine, Sridhar Maharaj. He's unfortunately not with us anymore. But there's a wonderful book about him, basically from him, which contains wonderful, I don't want to just go now, make it to a Sridhar Maharaj Vyasa Puja, but wonderful devotee. I had some association with him. Whoever associated with him came out always inspired. Always. He was called the Jolly Swami. Because he was so happy. And you know what he was doing? He was dying. And he was so happy. The doctors told him, hepatitis C on the highest level, your liver is finished. But if you keep strict diet, you can live maybe 2 years more. And he said, what's the use of that? Let's eat prasadam and die. That was his attitude. He was completely natural. To speak to him was amazing. He asked me once personally, that's just an example of a real devotee. He asked me personally, do you know why I'm sannyasi? I'm sometimes asking myself. I'm a funny, jolly guy. Women like that. So, and I'm still sannyasi? How is that possible? I asked him back, Maharaj, what did you do before you joined this movement? And he said, no, I was not a very happy person. I liked women, yeah, of course. I was a young man. And I told him, what did you do with them? He said, I always invite my girlfriends to the library because I really was living in a library. I loved books. And I wanted to show them how many wonderful books I'm just reading. And I asked him, what happened after? He said, they never came back. This is really sannyasi. He just goes, there's no impulse. Actually, inside, he was a very serious and totally Prabhupada devoted person. What he told me about Prabhupada was, even for me, was just shocking. He said, we didn't even start to glorify Prabhupada. He is so great. We didn't even grasp the meaning. What kind of person is that? he died like that. I spoke to him 48 hours before he left the body. He was still walking around. And he died just by getting up in the morning, and they knew he was dying, so they put a big picture of Prabhupada in front of him. And he was going, Prabhupada! And then he collapsed and left the body. What a glorious death. And he was very heavy too. In India, they had another name for him. Not just Jolly Swami. They call him Bulldozer. Because when he was focused, then you couldn't change the man. He was going for it. He was an expert fundraiser. He collected so much money you cannot imagine. How and why? Just talk to people. But because he was so transparent, so honest, that even quite conditioned people could understand, oh, this man is really honest, oh, this is really, I will give him donation. He was completely transparent. Everything for Prabhupada, everything for Krishna, nothing for me. And then people start to give, pious people. Now I will quote just a short thing from him, which describes the formula for advancement. And it very much reflects his personality too. This is just a short thing. In spiritual life, we have to be truthful with ourselves. He doesn't even say with others. First, truthful with ourselves. Self-realization also means self-introspection. Constantly, we have to look at our progress. We have to reform our character so that we become worthy of entering the eternal spiritual realm. This requires constant attention. It requires comparing the ideal character with our own situation. This means we are not there yet. And in our assessment, we have to be truthful. Therefore, we have to see ourselves through the eyes of the scripture. Our introspection involves analysis by comparison with descriptions of the pure devotees of the Lord. And indeed, we must verily try our utmost to follow in their footsteps. And they have demonstrated in their lives how we can be successful. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that progress is a series of adjustments as we go along. So it's a progressive development, which includes always introspection. How do we get to that? Well, it's association with devotees. Like this place, temple, you will be exposed when you live here. You will be observed one way or another. Therefore, some people don't like to really be too long in a temple because you will be exposed. You know, you cannot play a game here for long. You can try. I'm a pure devotee. Yes. I came here to bless you, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. You will be exposed. Therefore, people like to go to their private domains where nobody is watching. That is what they think. They are still super soul. Krishna is in the heart. Where do you want to hide? You know, and they imagine identities. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. I know a country where people do it on a regular basis. You don't see them, they don't go anywhere, they sit at home, and one day they come out, I'm pure devotee. You think, really? How did that happen? And they are very learned, they can even learn, they can quote Shastra, everything, but it has nothing to do with their lives. So you cannot sustain a situation like this for long. Material nature is uncompromising. And usually it ends up in the same thing, you know. It's, first of all, he came to conclude he's a renunciate, pure devotee. But he cannot actually exist without another renunciate in a female form. So then you have two renunciates, he renunciate, she renunciate, and then the she renunciates get pregnant, and hello, here we are again, back again, right? On the same track. Material nature is uncompromising. So why should we go in such a complicated way over this thing? Why not just to be honest? Why not just admit, yeah, look, that's me, yeah. What do you want to hide? Devotees will know. I mean, devotees are, expert in discovering the faults of another. Expert. You are living under magnifying glass. Then what do you want to hide? And there are devotees who actually make it to their profession to find the faults of others. Not very inspiring career. But there are devotees who are discreet and decent. They will go, yes, Prabhu, yes. Haribol. You are pure devotee. Haribol, bye-bye. You want some prasadam? They are more discreet. They will not tell you in your face you are an idiot. But they think, actually, wrong idea. Actually, it's a good idea, but the wrong man. How many devotees are ruining their lives like this? Insisting on a designation, which is not designation, it's actually a wonderful idea, but wrong man. Not yet, too early. Let's not jump back to Godhead. Let's go, and go means step after step. Prabhupada said, he used actually the word quite often, gradually. And this is wonderful. We are on the right way. We are rightly motivated. We are in the right direction. So it's just, Jiva Goswami gives a very nice advice. He goes, two things are required. Enthusiasm and patience. Usually in the material world, people are enthusiastic. They are not patient. Or when they are patient, they don't do anything. No. In Krishna consciousness is a activity, progressive activity with introspection and patience. Yeah, okay. When it came to weaknesses, Prabhupada was very tolerant. But when it came to hypocrisy, he wasn't. No. Hypocrisy, Prabhupada didn't tolerate. But, and he had a ways to really deal with that. Very humorous way. One morning walk, he walked, on a beach with a selected crew of sannyasis, all elitary troops coming along with Prabhupada, waiting for the divine instruction how to conquer the world. Americans, they know how to do that. Actually, Germans too. Anyway, pathetic, just, we can take over the world, yes. Actually, when you are close to Prabhupada, you start to think like this. It start to become logical. Yeah, of course we can take over the world. Because Prabhupada was so amazing. So they were lining up behind Prabhupada. Yes. Prabhupada didn't say anything. Normally he was speaking on a morning walks. Didn't say anything. And suddenly he stopped. Everybody flocked around him, listening what Prabhupada will say. And Prabhupada looked at that and he said, my big American monkeys. And then he kept on walking. And they were like, everybody lined in the back and they were going, okay. He knew exactly where the problem is. He just took the air out of them. Oh, another devotee, he became racistic. He heard what Prabhupada commented about black people and black skin, and he said, this Negroes. Prabhupada looked at him, he said, from my point of view, you are all white Negroes. Prabhupada didn't like this bodily, artificial, pride-producing designations. This was the beauty to be close to him. You immediately felt, oh, now I have to be a real devotee. I have to be myself. This is actually the real myself. We speak always about self-realization. Not easy. Because we are so packed with designations and ideas, what we are and all this. And it was imposed upon us from our very birth. But we are nothing else as the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. That's it. Everybody's servant. Nobody master. And who is the master? Well, that's the bigger servant. That's the master. As soon as we have this kind of understanding, life gets quite easy, you know. It's actually very nice. So, this is the mood. And I quote it now. When I traveled, I quote this letter from Prabhupada quite often. I apologize if it's recorded. And, I put my glasses again. When it's recorded and maybe it's repeated again, but this letter cannot be repeated enough. It sets the mood for this movement. Short letter, few lines. But if you study every word what Prabhupada is writing here, you get the point. Prabhupada writes, this is from 9th of April 1972 to Bhaktadas. Prabhupada writes, I can only suggest, and whenever possible that can be applied, but I do not force anyone. After all, you are working so hard to please Krishna only out of love for me. So there can be no question of force if love is there. We should never try to force anyone or reduce our society to an impersonal business exchange. This will kill everything. Our only purpose in every endeavor is simply to make advancement in spiritual life in pleasing Krishna. That's all. Sounds simple, eh? But it's not simple. You know, there are always people who try to reduce the whole thing to a mechanical procedure. You know, yeah. And squeeze people into it. We have a program and then squeeze people into that. No, sadhana and all this is a program. Yes, it's a given program, but we should never forget that we are all individual persons. And people don't come because of the program. They come because they feel personally inspired and personally addressed. That's actually why we came. And even I was not very warmly and kindly received, 1972 in Germany, but there was an absolute loyalty amongst devotees. Because we did the same service, going out, I am preaching, you are preaching. I'm distributing books, you are distributing books. I'm serving Krishna, you are serving Krishna. In the ultimate sense, it was absolute loyalty. We didn't let one man behind. No. It's like in a war, The soldiers fighting together. Of course, you will do anything. Even the other soldier is injured. You will try to help him to get out of the line of fire. Naturally. Because we are one army. It was the same spirit. I could give you graphical stories and details what happened there on the street. Don't do that. I just give you one story at the end. I went with a Sankirtan leader. I was still, it was the only time. Otherwise, I had my own party, It was called the Govinda League, the soft ones. I got the Bhaktas always and the new ones. And then we had the elitary troops. This was called the Nishinga League. That was the heavy guys who were going from one marathon to the other, It was like that. But somehow I got mixed up 1 week with the leader of the Nishinga League. I was going with him on Sankirtan. That devotee was so heavy. He just left the body last year. I mean, he was really heavy. And I found it quite unpleasant, He was just like, I was just thinking, just the helmet is missing, this German helmet, Heil Goranga! This kind of attitude, just a little bit heavy for me. But we end up in the same car, we were going on Sankirtan, okay. So, I remember exactly the town parking early morning in a big parking place, and nobody was still there, but it was a very good parking place. In a city called Köln, it was a big. Now our parking place doesn't exist anymore. They put some building there, but it was nice. So people came, parked, and then we approached them. Hello, hello, yeah. So we packed our books already, prasadam, heavy lecture, And then we packed our books. And then very close, a black BMW parked next to us, a fancy car. And we had some new bhakta in a car, very new devotee, very innocent and very enthusiastic. Okay, let's distribute books. So, So we had this Ford Transit, old-fashioned style. This is a cars which have a push door. They have 4 wheels in the back. And they are a little bit like that, quite high to get into the car. So, and our Sankirtan leader was going, let's pack the books and go out. So he packed the books. And this bhakta, he was the first one out. So there was nobody, just this man who parked the car. He was getting out of the car, just next to us. So he just turned around, hello, with the book. The man was obviously very angry and very in hurry. And he did something which happened to us occasionally. He just slapped the devotee in the face. Get out of my way. The bhakta was completely unprepared, He got a full slap in the face. But the man didn't know that our Sankirtan leader in the back was ready. He just turned around. He was holding on a frame of that car. And he came with these 2 boots straight into the face of the man. He was in the right angle. Full blast, just swinging out of the car. Bang! And I was in the back of the car going, oh, that's a nice beginning of the day. That will be a beautiful Sankirtan today, really. The man got a full kick in the face. He was slammed on his car back, and he just kind of recovered. And then he ran away. And our Sankirtan leader was completely cool. He was going, Sankirtan ki jai! Then he walked out into the shopping street. And I was like, oh no. And the car was still there, parked from the man next to us. So in the middle of the day, I came back to the car to eat a little bit. And the car was still parked there. I was going, oh no. And I was alone in the car. The rest of the party was still in a shopping street. So I was sitting in a car, eating, and suddenly I just turned my head around, and behind the glass was the same man. And he was going, oh no. I cannot get out of the car. He's at the car. His face was still a little bit, He made like this, rolled down the window. I was going, okay. Well, I was not kicking him. So I rolled down the window, hello, hello. And he looked at me very heavy. And he said, how much are the books? I was like, oh, the books. Oh yeah, we have very nice books here. For nice people, but this is only for nice people. Are you nice? And he bought 2 books, gave a good donation. Same guy. He threw the books in a car, he turned around, I was still there like... You know what he said? It's amazing how you guys are sticking together, how you are protecting yourself. He was impressed. Because he slept one Hare Krishna, the boots came out. I am not recommending this as a Sankirtan practice, please. This is old story from 1974 or 75 actually. You know, nowadays we don't kick people in the face very much. I don't think so. But protecting devotees, of course. So this is just an illustration. This is a very rare story, but I never forgot it because the man was impressed. This Hare Krishna, they are really sticking to each other. I don't think he ever slept another Hare Krishna again. So, it's just illustration that we should really help each other. We should protect each other. We should not let a man behind who, after all, tries just to serve Prabhupada's mission. Now, if somebody decides not to serve Prabhupada's mission, what can we do about it? Nothing. But, well, okay, wish you good luck. But if somebody is struggling, he's trying to be part of this movement, trying to help with whatever he can, of course. There was another story which is much more heavy. That was happening in America. You can read it in Prabhupada letters. Obviously, a devotee who was just 1.5 years on Sankirtan, he got problems, and severe problems. He got paralyzed. So he ended up in a wheelchair. Well, devotees were going, okay, then bye-bye, They sent him back to the parents. Prabhupada heard it, he was furious. He said, how could you reject the man? He was going on Sankirtan. This is our man. You kicked him out? How can you do that? That letter is so heavy. When you read it, you can still feel the anger of Prabhupada coming out. So this is actually the mood. And this is preaching. People will get to know that. They will take shelter in this movement because they know you will get shelter. Provided there's a condition. You try to serve Krishna unconditionally. That's how it should be. That's how Prabhupada envisioned this movement to be like this. And I just always quote this letter, quite often actually, because it's so wonderfully summarizing the mood of this movement. I don't know if there's some questions or comments to this still.
Hare Krishna, thank you for your association. I know you are distributing sometimes almost 1,000 books.
Huh?
When you distributed 1,000 books, almost.
Me did?
Yes. How?
1,000 books.
You were distributing 950 books or something.
What? Well, the record we established with Rohini Sutta Prabhu was 501 and 502 books in 1 week. That was considered like the record at that time. We kept it actually quite a standard later on. 100 books a day keeps Maya away. That was like our mantra, we try to go for it. It was not always possible, but we try to go for it. So, I don't know. I don't know how I did it. You ask any Sankirtan devotee, how is it possible you distribute so many books? What can they say? They go, Krishna's mercy. There is no technique on Sankirtan. There are some certain things. I can anytime give a very short introduction how to distribute Prabhupada's books. I can do it very quickly, it's few minutes. Yeah? New Bhakta on the street, never distributed a book. It's very simple, it's not very difficult. First of all, it's all individual souls, part of Krishna, they are walking here. Okay, let's go to them. Don't wait until they come to you. They will not come. New Bhaktas, they always do this. They stand on a street and they go, nobody is taking anything. It's quite simple, you don't give it to them. We have to take the initiative. Hello! And go to them. And then, normal conditioned soul has 2 hands, walks like this. So you aim for this area here, okay? It sounds simple, but actually bhaktas don't do that. You aim with the book for the hand. Hello. You don't give it to the face or something like this. For the hand. And you will see the hand will come automatically up. You know. And what happens when his hand comes up? You drop it into his hand. So now, here's a book in a hand, you are standing there. What comes next? You have to be fast. Because he is mental and he is rolling on. So, so you have to look in his eyes, not at his feet, and not somewhere. Look in his eyes. Smile. Even you don't feel like that. Smile. Hello. So he has a book in hand, you are smiling, look in his eyes. Hello. What shall I say? That's individual. Something simple. Keep it very simple. No Vedic scriptures. What do they know about Vedic scriptures? Nothing. Love of Godhead. What do they know about love of Godhead? Nothing. Essentially, street is not the place to preach at all. Our preaching is the book distribution. When you make it simple, they will respond simply. When you make it complicated, they will ask all kinds of questions. And they are responding not really to the book, they are responding to you as a person. If you are inspired and blissful, then they will also become eventually, not everybody, but they will also become inspired. Sankirtan is happening on another level. It's not a question of explaining to people, look, it's Sanskrit, it's Veda. That's a street. People go shopping, they are running around, they are completely gone. So how do you get them out of this, shopping, running frenzy? How do you get them out of this? By a very personal, hello. And they are like, oh. They don't meet people like this, smiling and looking in their eyes and the book in the hand. This is important, the book in the hand, otherwise he will walk away. But he has your book now in his hand. Not so easy to walk away. And then you smile. And you say something simple. This is a book which makes people happy. Are you happy? Some people go, oh, I'm happy. Well, that's a book for you. Some people go, nah, I'm not happy. Then, one reason more to take the book makes you happy. It sounds very primitive and simple, but people are like that. They are very simple people. You take it simple. When you are really inspired, it gets even more simple. I'm not saying this can be copied. I'm just speaking on a principle. But when you are really inspired, that inspiration can be transmitted very simply. And no big fuss about this. They go, what is this? A book. Okay. Who can argue with that? And they go, what's inside? Paper. Lots of paper, look. Okay, who can argue with that? The next question, can you read? Of course I can read. Well, that's a book for you. That's a book for people who can read. But only for intelligent people. And sorry, you look like a very intelligent person. I think the book is for you. There are various techniques, devotees, don't try to be even artificial. I saw Mataji standing on the street. They are great when they go out with books. It's fantastic. What I saw Mataji is doing on the street is amazing. They have another power. There's another Shaktis. When the man goes, oh, well, what will you do when I don't take the book? And they go, then I will cry. And they go, okay, I will take the book. If I do that, I cannot do that. I will say, I will cry. And they go, you problem. And then they go away. As a man, you have to come up in another way. So, there, and you get the practice. You practice. You sincerely try. And what you say, people go, where are you coming from? And I said, from there. And now I go over here. Okay. Sounds crazy, isn't it? But when you are in that street situation, people are like that. They are not very serious. They are not very deep. No. And they respond to your consciousness. That's the important part. If you are fired up, Krishna conscious, and full of compassion for the conditioned souls, you see the need to give them this light of Bhagavata. You know, they will get to feel it. They think, if this is so important for the man, there must be something in it. Why is he so, and selfless? You can beat me, you can embrace me, you can kill me. I will anyway try to give you the book. When you have this attitude, people go, wow, this is serious. This is amazing. And there's various ways, how to do that. That's individual. Prabhupada never gave a standard mantra for distribution. He also only explained the mood, how we should distribute the books. My dear sir, you are so knowledgeable. You are so great. You are so powerful. You are so influential. Could you please, for a few seconds, put all these assets aside and accept the mercy of Lord Chaitanya? This is humility. This is the mantra, the only mantra Prabhupada ever gave. So with this, you can go everywhere. And there are different people in different modes. Oh my God. I came to areas which were so tamasic that I completely changed what I'm saying, I just said, hello, and people, hello, I was like, there are places like this. You go, hello! And then I got fed up that, do you know how to read? Ooh. Then read it. Ooh. You have money? Ooh. Then give some. Ooh. I mean, how more low you can go, but there are places like that. If I can tell you on a tour through whole Germany, because that's a place I know very well from Sankirtan. It's different. It's different. I can give you even particular towns in Germany, how we differently distributed books. You come to North Germany, it's just office people running around. Middle of the day, break, they run around. I have no time. Okay, I have also no time, please. This is a very authorized book for you. Blah, blah, blah. Very official. They go, okay. But then you go South Germany, it gets more personal. There's one place called Baden-Baden. It's like German Monte Carlo. It's a casino. Old ladies walking around with a big diamond ring, Everybody's like, it's a casino town. So we used to distribute the books like this. Hello. Like waiter in a restaurant. This is for you. Yoga. And the old ladies, yoga, very good. Yeah, yoga, that's interesting. Yes. Sometimes they had a little dog, a little poodle like on an arm like this, and he also had the earrings. This kind of people we met there. So you go in that town. Then you go left to Bavaria, Munich and all this, all basically farmers. Heavy guys, they have a neck like bull, They come out of the BMW and they go, wah. And you go, hello, bang. This is can you hold a book? It's a big book. And they have hands so big like the Bhagavad Gita, they go like, bonk. And they go, strong man can hold a big book. You read? Nah, not much. Well, you can try. They have money. Money, no problem. They go, okay, a big book for a big man, okay? It's a completely different way to go, And I can tell you go around the trip. Even country to country is different. Sankirtan devotees are the best psychologists. They know how to fit into the local stuff. In Sweden, how to distribute the books in Sweden? Very heavy. They just pass you by like you are dust. Just, you go, hello. So what can you do? You block them. You go, hello. And they go, oh no. Now he is looking at me. And I have to say something. Oh, this is so painful for a Swedish person. I have to look in somebody's eyes. Oh. And you just look in his eyes. And he goes, okay, how much is the book? He will buy the book just to get rid of you. So that's also, okay, fine with me. It's not a very pleasant way of Sankirtan. Then you go to Czech Republic on Sankirtan. Oh my God, this is demanding. Especially when you speak the language, and you have to speak the language. Many people still, young people not so much, but the older and middle generation, they still have a problem with English. But Czech, when you speak Czech, oh, they relax. And they go, yeah, well, hello, and then you go, hello, and there's no problem to look in the eyes because they are looking in your eyes. And you go, hello, and how are you today? And they go, I feel horrible. Because Czechs always have to say something negative. I feel horrible, and the dog ran away, and the wife was nasty, and I have dysentery. You get all this to know before you distribute a book. They talk. And you think, oh, do I have to listen to all this? No, you have to listen. Otherwise, they will not take the book. If they don't feel emotionally comforted, they will not take the book. So that's another thing. Every country has a different modes, coloring. I can take you from one country to another, It's just like, in Italy, oh my God, Oh, we are monks. Monks. And they go, oh, monks. Which monastery? The Hare Krišna monastery. Aha, I didn't heard about that one. Monks. Okay, donation. Because they are monks. They don't even speak about the book. Monks? Yes, monk, donation. So this is another culture. Not the big cities, not Milano and not this. They are... But when you go a little bit small cities and countryside, you get this. Monks, padre. I'm Padre Manidhar. You can say that. And they go, oh, Padre Manidhar, oh, yes. Must be some special padre, This is how you go in Italy. Every country has something. So Sankirtan is so beautiful, it gives you such an outlook on the world. And simultaneously you are distributing the light of Bhagavata, illuminating the dark age of Kali Yuga. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.